A lot of people were sending me the new Smokey Glow video in which she talks about basically the rise and fall of Colleen Ballinger, and it's in her like internet history series. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I am a Smokey Glow veteran. I love Smokey Glow's videos. So we are going to go through this. A lot of people have been asking me to react to it. They say that I come up in it. So we are going to go through it. Again, I'm happy to see Smokey Glow back on the internet. I have always watched her little life updates here and there. And I'm always rooting for her. And so let's get to it. And shout out to her being back on the platform. Before we get into that, also my second channel linked down below, I am doing Vlogmas and I'm going to be going to New York very, very, very soon. So the vlogs are going to be very fun. So please go and watch. And also I'm going on tour. And if you get tickets for the London or Dublin show and send confirmation, I will send you a little signed art card from either show. I am going to Brooklyn on February 18th. It is opening night. Brooklyn, I am going to go to the venue in a couple days, and I'm very, very, very excited. Chicago is sold out. Seattle, LA is like 10 tickets away from selling out. Dallas, and then, so they're all in February, and then London on March 9th, and Dublin on March 10th. And again, if you get tickets to London or Dublin, on any of my social medias, let me know if you're coming. Oh my God, Brooklyn Divas. Nick, I can't wait to see you. Let me know what one you're coming to, if you're coming to London or Dublin, and I'll send you these signed postcards. We are also adding other shows. Do not fret. We are circling back to America in summer, and we're going to be adding other shows. But again, I can't wait to see everyone. It is shockingly close to the shows. I have just locked in the show, and I'm going to be starting full-on rehearsals. I'm going back to Derry in January, and I have rented out a venue, and I'm going to be doing a week of rehearsals because I want to lock in. I want to lock in and make sure that this is a chronically online night. So I can't wait to meet everyone. So again, that is Brooklyn, Chicago, well, sold out, Seattle, LA, still some tickets left, Dallas, London, and Dublin. But let's get into the video. All right. Also, I want to bring this up really quickly. I saw on the Colleen Ballinger Reddit, this was sent to me, and it was them talking about Hannah's video, Smokey Glow's new video. And someone said, I wonder if Adam's going to react to this. Like, Adam really doesn't, cover things to do with Colleen anymore. And I also just kind of want to, clarify that a little bit further, that it may seem that when people see me uploading a Colleen video that it's like, oh, here he goes again. I do not talk about Colleen. I stay in my own lane. I try my best to. It still pisses me off that she gets away with things, and it even pisses me off on more so level because there are other people involved, and I feel like I may get a little bit riled up with a video that is talking about everything that's going on from start to finish again. But I just want you to know that, number one, so many people are like, here he goes again. My response to that is yes. Yes, I do. And if you were in my position, you would as well. But number two, I really choose not to these days. But I saw that the Colleen Snark, they're very iffy about me. They posted, how many brain zapping sessions will it take for her to get over this? Whatever that means. And it's a video of me talking about, maybe moving to America. But there was a comment that I saw. Why does he look like a toddler in this picture? Okay. Either he's 5'5" or that's a normal couch. Well, I'm 5'6". They basically talked about, but there was a comment that I wanted to get to. I can't remember where it was. Okay, he doesn't do that. He barely talks about Colleen. She's that non-important. But as one of her primarily, formerly underage victims, Adam Cannon should weigh in on anything that he feels he has to say about it. He didn't do her wrong. She wronged him. He should never feel like he has to be intimidated into silence. That's been his experience dealing with Colleen and her goons and death threats and doxing, etc. Colleen specialized in silencing people who offended or criticized her. I'll be damned if she or anyone else will be able to do away from that. So again, a lot of people will be like, well, here he goes talking about it again. At its fundamental core, I want you all to fuck off. I want you to just fully wrap your heads around the fact that I had to move apartment because I was getting doxxed so much by her fucking fans, and the fact that I deal with the craziest shit online and in person by people who know of her or support her or anything like that. So please stop hiding behind this. Well, why are you kicking her when she's down? Shut the fuck up. And it really does piss me off. And it pisses me off on more so because I see Becky and Oliver's tweets where they're in college and they're living their lives. And while I've chosen to be in the light where people can criticize me, they haven't. And if anything, the few times that I choose to speak about this now, I more so feel like I'm speaking up for them getting criticism than me. And if you can't see that, well, maybe it has to do with the fact that you were not involved in this. And I can understand that it may feel very repetitive, or it may feel very like, oh, well, what do you want us to do about it? That doesn't mean that any of us should stop talking about it. And if anything, I kind of really wanted to react to this video because I have been told, and I have not watched it, that it paints this picture of everything that happened in the journey. And I thought that I wasn't going to watch it alone. I did want to watch it, but I wanted to watch it on stream here, go through it with you. This is not me doing a victimization speech or anything like that, but I just want to let you know that please don't ever speak to someone like that when you're so uninvolved and be like, oh, here you go again. By the way. All right, let's get to it. Mary Glomas.
Hi, friends. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Beautiful.
An amazing day today. Hello and welcome to the Colleen Ballinger video. I don't know if this video has been highly anticipated for you guys. Like, I'm not sure if you were sitting here jonesing for my opinion about this topic, but it certainly has been a very anticipated video for me. I've been working on this script.
I'm really happy she is seemingly doing a lot better. And I know she comes back, you know, to do her Glomus, and, you know, like a lot of YouTubers will choose to come back in December and stuff. I don't care about that. She has been going through it, and again, I religiously watch her life updates, and I'm always rooting for her, and I really, really, really like her as a creator, and again, I'm always rooting for her, so it's great to see her back on the platform. And Hannah, I hope you're doing well. If this ever crosses your path, I hope you're doing well, babe.
For literal months. It's one of those videos I kept leaving and coming back to and leaving and coming back to because there's just so much information and so much I want to say and talk about with this video.
And also, I want to clarify that Hannah was one of the only creators that in the moment of this happening years and years ago, when everyone was against me, she was really someone that kind of heard me out at 16 years old, 17 years old, whenever I first came for Colleen. And she covered Colleen's response. She was really one of the only people that really did bat for me, and I will always respect her for that. I will always respect her for that. I'll always have a soft spot for her. I will always have a soft spot for her, because when everyone else went against me after Colleen did that initial apology video on her vlog channel where she pushed all the blame on me, she saw through it, and look what aged well, her. So I will always, always, always respect her.
Video. Today we are going to be talking about Colleen Ballinger and why I think what happened with her will inevitably end up happening again with other YouTubers. Like why this endless cycle keeps sort of going around and around and around. Preface this video by saying I know that Colleen Ballinger content is, I don't want to say overdone, because I personally don't think you can ever call out people who are enough. That's my opinion. But I will say I know there's been a lot of videos made on this topic, and I know that I'm kind of late to making this video. I definitely wanted to look at this from the perspective of not necessarily unpacking every little tiny detail that happened, because that's already been done, but I want to look at this from the broader perspective of why this happened in the first place.
Which again is why I'm really choosing to react to this, because again, she was one of the people that from the start saw a different perspective that wasn't just up Colleen's fucking pussy, that I really want to hear her take now, years later, when a lot more people will kind of hear out not the popular take back then, which was being on Colleen's side. And I feel like if you haven't seen this video yet, it's very important as well to kind of give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? We talk about people changing their opinions and stuff like that, but I mean, Hannah has been a real one from the start who genuinely has advocated for the people involved.
How this situation was handled and sort of what we think is going to happen in the future, and how I think we're just going to sort of be repeating this over and over and over again. So without doing too much introduction, I just want to sit down, talk about Colleen Ballinger, how she came to be so famous on YouTube, how she kind of blew up, horrific things that happened, how her entire brand basically came crashing down around her. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. This is just like a super interesting thing that I found out right off the bat doing research on her. Colleen graduated college in 2008 from Azusa Pacific University, which really wasn't important to me at first, but it turned
God first.
Evangelical Christian college that's incredibly anti-gay. So that's like a great start to this video. She literally went to an anti-gay college, and I don't know how I've never seen anybody talk about that, but I'm like, okay, so that right off the bat tells me everything I need to know about her. That's like first and foremost. You could honestly stop the video here. Like, what the fuck? She got her degree in vocal performance, and quickly after graduation, she started getting jobs doing singing stuff. Like, she was a singer at Disney World and Disneyland Playhouse in 2008. That was kind of her most notable big job before she took off on the internet. She was actually actively working at Disneyland while she was promoting her online brand and creating the Miranda Sings character. She actually got fired from Disney because she kept doing her Miranda Sings face.
Don't you worry, she would bring that story up every fucking week. I worked at Disneyland, guys. Okay? Literally all the time. You know what's so funny? I have, in my kind of adult life now at like 22, I've, you know, restarted a lot of friendships with people who were in their original Weenies group chat, and we talk about these things, and we're like, oh my god, she was a grown woman just like gloating every day to us. My book's selling so well. I used to work at Disneyland. I'm like, okay, we're fucking doing our finals. You know what I mean? Trying to do our homework.
And voice on the Disney stage to make people laugh, and it made her higher ups get mad at her and basically fire her. Now, even though Colleen starting this Miranda character is definitely what made her take off on the internet, I do think it's important to note that this is not her very first time doing internet stuff. Her and her sister Rachel had an internet skit show where they just did highly offensive.
Also, wait, I need to show you something, and I need to figure out how to find it. Wait, no one talks about this. Hold on. How do I go on list of people that I'm subscribed to? Hold on. Bear with me. I was cleaning out my subscriptions a couple days ago, right? Of people that I was subscribed to. And I found this and I completely forgot about it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. But it is an old channel that I just want to show you really quickly. Oh, Bethany Moda. I miss Bethany Moda. Is this it? Okay, this is not it. I think it's interesting to show you guys. Let me pull it up if I can find it. I saw it only a couple days ago whenever I was going through. Let me see. Damn, I was subscribed to a lot of people back in the day. Yeah, Bethany Moda. Oh my god. If there was one person I loved online, it was Bethany Moda, Grace Helbig, Jenna Marbles. Oh god. I hope Jenna Marbles is doing so well. I truly don't think that there has been a better creator than Jenna Marbles. Whenever it has came to like fucking morals and just content. I mean, I've been finding myself a lot going back and rewatching. Oh my god, you met her during the Apostle era? Oh, I'm really jealous. I have been going back and rewatching a lot of the Jenna and Julian podcast and kind of like this like older style content that I used to watch whenever I was younger. And I mean, even the Jen and Julian podcast, like they've really held up and they're still really great to watch. And God, I love them so much. I really, really, really do. Okay, wait, I'm getting really close to showing you this. And I think it's really interesting. And again, just bear with me because no one talks about it at all. And I just don't know why. It was Rachel Ballinger, Colleen's sister, has this secret channel that no one talks about. And I don't think anyone knows about it unless you're like a fan from Thing. And maybe if I bring it up, it'll be swiftly deleted. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at that. But it was Rachel Ballinger pretended or came up with her own like Miranda Sings character, and it obviously flopped. And Rachel Ballinger's, I mean, she'd be doing her own shit these days. I mean, shout out to her. Hope she's well. I never had any problems with Rachel, but, you know. Okay, I'm going to let the video play and kind of get a little bit further in, but just know that I'm going to be looking for it off camera because I think you will absolutely love to see this. But yeah, it was Rachel Ballinger's own version of Miranda Sings that no one has found unless you are kind of in that era. But we'll continue playing the video a little bit and then we'll get into it. Sorry for the pause.
And problematic vlog skit type content. It's been brought to light in recent years. There's tons of clips online, specifically one where they're mocking Hispanic people. So she's been around and being problematic for a long time. This isn't new. However, as far as her actual career as like Miranda Sings Colleen Ballinger on YouTube, her very first video was posted in 2008. It was a Miranda Sings cover of the song Respect by Aretha Franklin. It's really interesting to look back at these OG original Miranda Sings videos because the character is just wildly different than what it turned out to be today. The only real similarity in Miranda Sings videos from the beginning and what they turned into is that she has messy lips.
I feel like the channel was called Becca or something. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. I think the character was called Becca or something like that. The Rachel Ballinger version of the Miranda Sings. I swear to God, it was called Becca. And I know that the second that I show you a clip from it, that the entire channel will be taken down. That's why I want to fucking show you it before it gets deleted. Oh my God, it was called something like Becca. Oh my God. Becca.
lipstick and her hair is messy and she has a beret in it. Like, that is literally the only difference. The character itself completely is just someone who's kind of bad at singing. Like, that's how this all started. It seemed much more based on sort of the early days of YouTube when people would just post covers and they would be not that great. And it kind of reminded me of like bad American Idol auditions. Like, that's what she was channeling. It wasn't this whole brand of a person. It was just this character who sang poorly. Most of these early videos were just 3-minute cover songs. They weren't even like big, long, drawn out videos of a Miranda character. It was just her singing this cover in this funny voice and doing faces. Now, of course, as time went on, Miranda Sings went from this cover artist who was just bad at singing and it was funny to
not Corey.
Very long, drawn out.
Find it! Find it! Oh my god, thank god. Sorry. It would have been really annoying if I had strung you along that much, and I'm so sorry. I fucking find it. I promise you these will be taken down. I promise you these will be taken down the second that I show you them. I find them. Do you want to see Rachel Ballinger's secret channel where she had her own Miranda Sings character? They're on YouTube.
Hey guys, my name's Rebecca, and I live with my grandparents, and every Sunday I like to perform for them.
This has 2,000 subscribers. Baby, thank God the Miranda Sings took off, because this sure wasn't.
And when I do, they tell me I'm really good at it. I mean, like, but no, they just...
This entire family are filled with fucking freaks.
They said...
Adam, how did you find this? Because I was a fucking fan. We watched this, but it just never took off. And no one talks about it.
Sit there through my... they don't...
The entire family are so fucking...
They don't know how to, like, show their emotions and stuff, like... why I made it. Why it's where I got my inspiration from. So there's I'm in a class with my AP biology class, and my teacher's really cool. I like my teacher a lot, and he always talks and talks to all the other girls.
I mean, she's making fun of people who, you know, have speech problems. I'm like, girl, this entire family are so fucked up.
Guys, it's me, Rebecca, again.
They're also unfunny.
I wanted to do another vlog, but this time I'm gonna do it lying down because my best friend Brett told me that if I lay down, then people would want to be my friend more, and I get more subscribers. So
clearly didn't fucking work.
But so I'm gonna
like the entire bit of this character, which I guess is why it didn't take off, was just because it was making fun of someone who like has a fucking speech impediment or something like that.
Lying down, but
this is the entire bit. Like, this is the family's fucking humor.
What I want to talk about is there's a show. There's a act like I'm on the production crew because they're really cool. I like to go in the theater after
This entire family are so fucking unfunny.
class, and then
My goodness gracious me. Help me pick which monologue.
hey guys, I'm sorry I haven't done a blog in a while. I've been sick, and my grandma wouldn't let me do anything because I was sick a little bit. Well, it wasn't a little. I had a runny nose and a sore throat, and I really didn't like it. And my grandma gave me this cough syrup, but
I mean, Gwen and Tim had their children fucking throwing everything at the wall with these YouTube videos. They were like, please.
didn't help my cough because I coughed in the middle of the night, and it was annoying. But someone sent me a mean message. Here it is. To talk to her and play with her. She was my one and only friend. She had a...
Keep in mind, I've liked this video. I mean, this was great in my mind. In 2008.
I'm sorry I haven't done a video in a long time.
I'm not taking that like back. Maybe it was earned.
But my computer crashed, and then when I got a new one,
I love unearthing these. You know why? Because that the family would never want these out there. I know they have lost the password to these, but it just goes to show that the family's entire thing was like, hey, let's get all of our kids to go on YouTube and make fun of people with speech impediments or something like that. Let's see which one sticks.
I only got to use it for like a day because
Look, I mean, those parents had these kids trying every fucking character. Oof. Oh, Rachel Ballinger, I know you're fuming. I've brought this back up again. Rachel, babe, we didn't even have any problems. I'm sorry for bringing this up, but I just think it's really funny. I think it's really funny, if I'm being honest. All right, and then the final one. I'm in Miami.
Hi, everybody. This is Rebecca back. I got a new camera because I got a new computer for college. Because I'm going there. So
Jesus Christ. Just everything had to be like fucking OMG, Becca and Miranda need to collab. Wow. This is sort of sad, someone commented. Damn. Yeah. Gwen and Tim had their kids being like, make fun of every fucking like speech impediment or like fucking whatever, like oof. And then add the fucking creep Trenton as well. Because, by the way, why do people not talk about that enough? I mean, fuck the shit with me, if I'm being honest. Like, put that aside. Why the fuck do people not talk about fucking creepy Trent? Who, by the way, if it's true or not, I saw that he was, like, in the behind the scenes of a Christmas vlog or a Thanksgiving vlog or something from, like, a couple weeks ago, which means that the family are still hanging out with him, so they see no problem with the fact that he's a fucking creep and messages fucking kids. Wants to hang out with them and all like this. Let's keep in mind, let's put my shit aside. I will never rest until that family acknowledge their fucking creep of a brother. You don't want me to start going through those texts again. You don't want me to start going through those Trent and Oliver texts again. That's a fucking predator. Family of fucking predators, sorry. Trent Ballinger is a fucking danger to underage people. And don't you fucking forget it. And if all you people want to be like, why do you keep talking about it? Don't fucking forget that it's more than just Colleen in this family. Trent Ballinger is a fucking danger to kids. And the fact that they still hang out with him and he's like secretly seen and hidden in all the vlogs and stuff like that because they're protecting him. Trent Ballinger is a problem to kids. And don't you fucking forget it. Never fucking forget what Oliver talked about. And fuck you if you do. Anyways, continuing on.
These long drawn out character building, basically watching this character build from the ground up, watching her develop new things for this character. So from 2008 to 2010, Miranda Sings was blowing up and was very successful. And in 2010, Colleen decided to start a separate YouTube channel called Psycho Soprano, which is just telling. She starts doing Vlogmas and starts posting about her real life as opposed to just posting about this character that she's portraying. This channel took a little bit of time to sort of get picked up off the ground. It seems like even though Colleen was promoting this channel, this Psycho Soprano channel on her Miranda Sings account, it was taking a while for her to grow a follower base that wasn't just watching her for these funny videos. Most people were not watching for her, they were watching for this character she had created, Miranda, and it seemed like she was trying to switch that up a little bit and make it more so people were caring more about her and her life than they were about the Miranda Sings character. And I think this is something that a lot of YouTubers during this time had to deal with, especially because skit comedy was so popular.
Sorry, to reference, someone said, like, doesn't Trent have a disability? He's deaf, and also, it is also in turn ableist to insinuate that if someone has a disability that they, like, get away with being a predator or everyone, you know what I mean, in terms of that, so we'll stop that, but he literally just has a cochlear implant, just so we're aware. Just so we're aware. Because he was getting excused a lot last summer, and I was like, y'all do realize that it's just a cochlear implant, right? Not taking away from that, but, like, y'all do realize that it like, the, like, infantilizing of him was, like, crazy.
on YouTube during this time. If you think of someone like Fred, his name's Lucas Cruikshanks, he's actually fucking hysterical. He has a YouTube channel. I love him. If you think about him, the biggest hits were them playing these sort of characters, and a lot of YouTubers had to deal with this, because even if they weren't playing a character, they were still participating in skits, and those were their biggest videos. It seems like it was difficult for YouTubers at this time to get people to care about them as people, which I think is fascinating, because now that's like all people care about. I feel like all people care about are YouTubers as people at this point. That's like the big selling point. Now, as someone who does YouTube, I can imagine that it would be frustrating to be so famous and well known for a character that you're portraying when all you want is for people to like you as a person. I can understand why it puts a lot of pressure on you to keep making your character good and interesting and funny and topical, which can be very difficult. And I think the reason that Colleen ended up crossing so many boundaries, especially in the beginning, I think she started crossing so many boundaries because the interest in her as a person just wasn't there. So she knew she had to make her character outlandish and crazy and shocking, and that's why she made so many videos just doing disgusting things as Miranda sings. Now, I in no way am defending Colleen's actions here, but I will say a lot of YouTubers have faced similar criticism that Colleen has faced in terms of finding old content that is deemed very problematic, and a lot of YouTubers use the excuse that it was a different time and that's why they posted that content when they did. Colleen herself has used this excuse where she says it was just a different time on the internet. You wouldn't understand. But here's the thing. Every single one of those people who were making those really offensive skits, all of that content was aimed at children. I don't think it's ever okay to exploit children by creating shocking, horrifically bad, racist, terrible characters and basically traumatizing an entire generation of people just so you can make some money. I just don't think that's fair. And there are things in those videos like commenting on the bodies of underage children that have just never been fucking acceptable. And I do not understand why we let creators get a pass when they just say, oh, it was a different time. Times were not that different. You were being disgusting knowingly to be provocative and funny to children, and you were exploiting.
And also, fundamentally, at its core, the reason the content did well was because it was tongue-in-cheek for children. Muckers against Trent. Can we get that in the fucking comments? Muckers against Trent. Trent Ballinger, disgusting. And the lucky bastard got off unscathed in all this, and the family still have the little sneaky bastard in the background of the videos, which further goes to show that they don't give a shit. And that's why I'll continue talking. That's why I'll continue talking. Not even a verse in that fucking ukulele song about him. Yeah, get it fucking trending. Muckers against Trent.
Their views for money. There's no way to defend that type of old content. There's no way to defend that type of shocking content. You know what you were doing. You were an adult who knew what they were doing to attract a bunch of kids to your channel. And there's something inherently weird about that, in my opinion. I'm already getting heated. I'm only on page 3. The only thing that was different about the internet back then is that people lacked a sense of internet literacy, and they didn't understand that those videos they were posting were going to be online for the rest of their lives and potentially fuck up their careers. That's the only difference with what people were doing on the internet back in the day when things were different. Media literacy just wasn't as big of a thing. Like, if you think about it, back in the day, most people didn't even have computers. Like, maybe you had one family computer that you used. It's not like today where everybody has computers and literal phones that they are carrying around all the time. I think that content was posted because nobody thought that people would see it in a couple of years. Not that you thought it was okay, because you thought it was shocking. So you knew it was wrong. This is what I hate when YouTubers are like, well, I was just doing it to be shocking. So you knew it was wrong. So you knew it was wrong, and you still continue to post it. Anyway, there weren't really checks and balances in the YouTube scene yet when Colleen was posting all of this content. She was posting about like menstrual cycles and just weird shit that you shouldn't be posting to kids. And because
tampon.
And their
Remember that?
Mostly children, of course they weren't getting called out for it. It's like the internet wasn't different back then. It wasn't a different time. You were just catering to children who didn't know any better. As an adult, she was a fully fledged adult at this point. And that kind of gets me to my first point of why I think what happened with Colleen will continue to happen over and over again, is because at the end of the day, a massive target demographic for YouTube and just for the internet in general are children, which is arguably one of the easiest demographics to have because kids aren't really going to call you out on something. But the thing is that short-lived because those kids grow up and then they do remember all the horrific shit you did and they will call you out on it, like we have seen time and time again, including with Colleen.
That's such a great point.
Now, after 2010, it seemed like her personal brand channel also started gaining a lot more traction, similarly to her Miranda content. All of this was really blowing up for her, and I think this is for a few reasons. Number one, she was definitely in that sort of OG YouTuber group of people who just got on the app at the right time. I talked about this a bunch before. I think a lot of social media success relies on timing and luck. Not that it doesn't take work, not that it's not, you know, whatever, but it's like a lot of it is luck. A lot of it is right when the timing that you started, knowing when something's going to be big before it actually becomes big. Like Colleen fell into that sort of category. And during this time, Miranda as a character started to become even more pronounced and started developing these weird subplots of her life. The most troubling one I've seen is the insinuated fake relationship that Miranda, who is supposed to be a young girl, has with her uncle, and insinuating that her uncle was doing creepy and predatory things towards her. This is a completely false and made-up character. There's no reason your character should be getting by their uncle for a bit, for humor. That's not funny, that's very serious, and I don't think people even harped on her enough about this, because not only is that just disgusting to make jokes about, you're making light of something that does happen to children, to those children, and it could potentially be dangerous because if a child is in that situation.
And again, we saw many people last summer, which again, didn't get talked about enough, being like, oh, blank, 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 blank happened to me, but on YouTube, my favorite creator was talking about her uncle doing this as well. Therefore, normalizing this behavior by weaponizing having a child audience that will eat up anything. Therefore, you're exposing these narratives to them that is incredibly dangerous in many ways, but incredibly dangerous on the basis of it can directly affect how they foresee things happening to them in their own life.
They could think it's just a fucking joke because Miranda Sings has it happen to her and she's just taking it as a joke. She just thinks it's funny. It's not funny. It's never been funny. I don't understand why she didn't get called out more for this. And then there's also just, I'm not kidding, hundreds of clips of Colleen as Miranda making jokes about children's bodies, pretending to be a child as Miranda, making jokes about inappropriate topics for kids like and tons of sexual jokes, sexual innuendos that would go over a child's head, so there's no fucking reason for it to be there in the first place. And it was all under the guise that because Miranda Sings, the character, is a child, she's allowed to make these jokes to children as a fully grown adult with a fully formed fucking brain. Now, as Miranda grew this fan base, so did Colleen. And while Miranda as the character has had a lot of peaks and pits in popularity, like I would say there's been a ton of ebbs and flows to that channel, especially before all of this controversy happened, Colleen as a YouTuber definitely cemented herself as one of the OGs, and she would regularly go to events like VidCon. She started doing tours. She would have fan meetups. Like, she was a solidified, popular, famous YouTuber. I would argue that Miranda Sings hit its peak in 2016 when Netflix actually gave her her own TV show, which is crazy. I'm like, how the fuck did Netflix vet that character and be like, yeah, let's give Miranda Sings a TV show? Whoever gave that the green light at Netflix needs to be fired. I'm so sorry. That is absolutely...
Also, you know what doesn't get talked about enough? That person who came out against her who worked on the show. Remember that? Remember we covered that? That got fucking swept up as well.
Batshit crazy that she was allowed to get a TV show when all of those clips that are on the internet exist of her doing these horrific things with Miranda Sings. The show only lasted 2 seasons and I tried to watch a little bit of it for this video. I literally could not get through it. I don't even know how it got 1 episode. I'm like so confused by that show. It's just bad. It's like not even funny or interesting. It's just bad writing. Like it's a bad show. However, this was one of the first times that a YouTuber had this much commercial success and also one of the first times a YouTuber got like an actual television show. So this was a big deal. She was able to be on the Jerry Seinfeld show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and she did really well in that interview. She would make the late night rounds and switch into her Miranda character when she was on the late night shows. She got a lot of success from this Miranda character, but I would argue that the show kind of killed the Miranda character, probably because she wasn't able to do all the disgusting things that she wanted to do on the show. That's probably why, because that's what people had come to know and expect from this character. But regardless, the show did not do super well, and it ended in 2017 with kind of the popularity of Miranda Sings. I think that's really fun.
Also, I don't know if I've ever talked about this online, right? You see, when she was going through the in-between stage of not knowing if she was getting the season that ultimately got canceled, dude, she made our life hell. She made our life hell. I mean, it was like the biggest thing in the entire world. Like, she would fucking, like, trauma dump on us. And I remember she would, like, specifically ask us to do these big threads where we would, like, beg Netflix on Twitter, in private DMs, on their helpline emails. Like, she would tell us to berate them, begging that we needed to know when the next season was going to come out, which is ironic because the time that she did that was the time that they were making the decision. So they hadn't even told her no at this stage, but she used all of us to kind of show them that there was demand, which is even funnier because we did it and they still said no.
that channel sort of died, which makes sense because if you do the math, 2017, say a kid was like 12 years old. When she got called out in 2023, all those 13-year-olds she was pandering to were now legal adults, and they were able to see the tomfoolery and bullshit that she was posting. I would also make the argument that her personal channel started to decline during this time. I would say it started declining in like 2015, 2016, and I think that's mostly because most of the OG YouTube channels were kind of dying at this point. They weren't doing as well as they used to. This is like the Tyler Oakley, Hannah Hart, Joey Graceffa, like all of them, Alicia Marie. Like,
don't worry, she got a pregnancy up the sleeve. The plan all along, which no one believes still to this day for some reason.
And I would say that this is when she had a major dip in views on both of these channels. I think what's so funny during this time is that if you'd asked somebody for a list of unproblematic YouTubers in 2016, Colleen would have absolutely been on that list. Like, she 100% was deemed as this very unproblematic, never gets into scandals, never has any drama. That was how she was viewed. And she saw a massive boom in success in 2018 when she announced that she was pregnant and vlogged her entire pregnancy and labor, getting 33 million views on her labor and delivery video. I think the reason she blew up so much when she started having kids was because people had this nostalgia for her because they watched her when they were kids. So I think that's the big reason that she had this big boom. And also, for whatever reason I will never understand till the day I die, people like family channels. I don't get it, but like, that's a whole different video. I feel like she had created this sort of friendship with a lot
Baby, I'm the same as you.
with a lot of her audience, which we'll talk about later, how she
Because the audience are part of the family, Hannah.
with that. But she had fostered this sense of community, so I think a lot of people, when they heard she was pregnant, kind of felt like when a friend that you knew in high school gets pregnant. You're like, oh, good for them. I want to see their cute baby and see their cute little journey. Now, I want to talk about this part of Colleen's. This is by no means the most serious, thing that she did, but just because I'm me, I want to talk about this. I've never been shy about how I feel about family channels and how I think they're incredibly exploitative. I think they should be illegal. I think there should be stricter laws around them. Like,
And there will be eventually, hopefully.
About forever, and I do. Her entire content changed during this time, and while I thought
because it was strategic,
I never made a video on it, and the reason I never made a video on it was because I was like, she's so unproblematic, like, she shows her kids occasionally, like, whatever, and that wasn't true. She was absolutely exploiting the fuck out of her children. Up until this point, back in like 2018, 2019, the only real scandal that she had been in was that she very publicly married a fellow YouTuber, Josh Evans, and in 2015, they got a divorce, and that was some big tea during the time because there's a lot of rumors about that relationship. Personally, if you know, I don't like talking about relationships and stuff like that on YouTube. I don't think it's appropriate. I think that's their personal business, so I'm not going to discuss that any further. But that was
me at 13. No, I'm going to talk about it.
About this very big divorce. That was really it. So when she started exploiting her children for content, everybody was just going along with it, I think mostly because she had never caused any problems before, so what were you to think that she was causing a problem now? 2020, this sort of unproblematic image was definitely shattered, and her YouTube career definitely hit a big bump. I had to rewatch my old video on this topic, and I can link it down below if you guys want more context on what happened during this situation, because I'm just going to do a brief overview. But the gist of the situation is a YouTuber named Adam McKinty. I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong, Adam, I'm sorry. He basically made a video saying that he was in the fandom of Colleen's for a really long time, that she had sent him a pair of bra and under.
Girl, how'd you fuck that up? Hannah, we know each other. Girl, we've been in this for a while. Now, why'd you fuck that up? I know you don't upload that much anymore, but girl, what the fuck? We've talked. Okay, so let's get back to Smokey Glass video. Smacky Glass video. Damn, she really fucked that up.
I'm sorry. He basically made a video. Problematic image was definitely shattered. And
I've never. The worse I hear my name pronounced. Also, it's so easy to pronounce. No shade. Like, just make some effort, please. Girl, I love you, but like, you fucked that up for no reason. You really just kind of pissed me off there. And also, I'm pretty sure you pronounced it correctly in the first video you made. And also, we've talked, Hannah. What the fuck? The worst I've ever heard my name pronounced is Adam Mackin. How did Alexa Nicholas fuck it up? What did Alexa Nicholas say? What did Alexa Nicholas say? What did she say again? Adam McKinner. Adam McKinner. All right.
Her YouTube career definitely hit a big bump. I had to rewatch my old video on this topic, and I can link it down below if you guys want more context on what happened during the situation, because I'm just going to do a brief overview. But the gist of the situation is a YouTuber named Adam McKinty.
Like, where the fuck did she get that from? Hannah, you just pissed me off. Babe, you're so good at research. You really fucked that one up. You pissed me off. No shade. I mean, this video is so good so far, but really?
I to rewatch my old video on this topic, and I can link it down below if you guys want more context on what happened during this situation, because I'm just going to do a brief overview. But the gist of the situation is a YouTuber named Adam McKinty. I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong, Adam, I'm sorry. He basically made a video saying that he was in the fandom of Colleen's for a really long time, that she had sent him a pair of bra and underwear when he was only 15 years old, and accused her of massively oversharing about her personal life and in her personal DMs and group chat. He also talked about how she gave him access to the Miranda Sings Twitter account and then flipped out on him when she got backlash for something that he tweeted on the account, and then went to her different fan group chats and talked shit about him. That was the gist of this original drama. Also during this time, I think people were...
Adam McKinsey doesn't even like... I'm looking at my tour poster right now. Adam McInt. Girl, where's the R? The Y.
Just barely scratching the surface of a lot of her old racist stuff that she had posted, because some of it resurfaced, but absolutely by no means did all of it. Like, just a couple of clips here and there had resurfaced that she very vaguely apologized for. But during this time, people did notice that she was making jokes about sexual assault, and there was also the clip of her killing her dog, which this one was weird and also like fake, and also there is context to what she said. I think the weird part about the dog killing story, basically, if you don't know, she posted a video a while back.
The weird part of the dog story was she told a story about something she did as a child, which again, you can't really blame a child in this retrospect. She told a story about fucking having her dog put down, but she told it as an adult and laughed about the fact her dog got put down. I'm sure this is what she's going to say the issue was. That's the fucking problem.
Where she was talking about how a dog, she like hurt her family dog, like she pulled its tail or something, and the dog bit her, and she never said anything, and the dog had to be put down. I think the video itself, it's like, you're a kid, you do dumb shit. I don't think that's right.
She told it laughing as an adult.
The weird part about the video is the way she's just like laughing maniacally about it the entire time. I still think that's fucking weird to this day. I don't think that's like a funny, haha, joking story that you just tell people that you literally had an animal killed because you were a kid and you lied about something. I don't think that's funny. But anyway, all of that was happening as well. So she posted a video on her vlog channel, which I'm always, God, it's so reminiscent of what I used to talk about on the internet. I remember I used to get so mad at these creators. I still do. Still get so mad when they don't post their apology videos on their main platform. I just think that's such fucking cowardly. Like, you had all the bold-facedness to do all of these crazy things and do all of these fucked up things, but you don't have the...
She did the same with the Toxic Gossip Train, but it's ironically one of her most viewed videos.
She made one for her vlog channel, and honestly, at the time, she got a massive amount of love for this video. Like, people were...
I remember!
100%. I remember I made my video, and people were telling me that I was wrong and crazy and bad, because I was like, her apology didn't mean shit. She literally didn't say anything. I still stand by that. Her apology didn't mean shit. It didn't excuse...
And this is why I'm reacting to this video, because Smokey Gluck has been a real one since the start. She's been a real one since the start.
Any of the behavior, and it didn't...
But yeah, I remember the feedback she got in the first video. I remember.
Prove anything that Adam had said in his video. Like, to this day, I'm like, people were so quick to forgive her, but the reason for that is because she had just spent the last 10 years on the internet building up this brand, building up this credibility, not being problematic, that people were calling her out for it. She was, just to be clear, she was being problematic and terrible that entire time. People weren't calling her out on it yet because people didn't remember it yet.
I threw the first brick in 2020.
Hardworking, because that was the other thing. There was a huge rhetoric around her that she's like the kindest person. Like, all of her OG YouTube friends came to her defense and were like, she's the best person, she's so kind, she's the hardest worker, like, she's the hardest working YouTuber there is. She had that sort of image and reputation around herself. This vlog apology video also turned a ton of hate towards Adam, who was the original person who brought all of this up, which she knew. In 2020,
I remember.
Her channel had gone kind of stagnant again because people were sick of her exploiting her son for views, till she announced that she was pregnant with twins in like 17 very drawn out video announcements. Her channel started booming again because people love babies. In 2021, she was so uncanceled from that whole situation, despite how bad it was, that on her tour and in her like meet and greets, she would literally make jokes about being canceled because it was all just a big joke.
I remember.
Given so quickly for all of this, even though her apology did nothing, and she absolutely did all of the things that...
She literally added an entire section after she made that apology video in which it got me so much hate and she fucking lied through her teeth. She added a section to her shows, which she performed for dozens of shows after that for years, where she would basically make fun of how a YouTuber fakes an apology video. She'd bring someone on stage and make them pretend to apologize for something. And I went, oh, you people are pissing me off that, like, you're not seeing through this.
That were alleged in the video. I think number one, it was her credibility, but I also think number two, it's this intersectional issue. Like, she's a white woman, so right there, that affords her just tons of more privilege. She's afforded a lot more privilege than other people who are canceled on the internet. I think also because she had built this brand, that not only she was this hardworking, incredible person, like, she built that brand up, she also had a very...
She's also a mommy.
Brand. I think a lot of people people chalked up this whole situation to like a misjudgment or a moment of weakness or something that she did that was kind of wrong or like wasn't thinking about fully, instead of calling it what it was, which was predatory behavior. I also think too, a lot of her fan base who were still in her fandom at the time were younger people, because she is always...
That's a big thing as well. Most of the people who supported everything last year were grown-up people, and I was the same age as them whenever I spoke up in 2020, but they hadn't experienced it yet, but then they had a couple years to kind of become an adult, and then they realized how it was. And again, this is Hannah's overall point here, you know, Smokey Glass video, which is basically that, like, your audience, if you're pandering towards children and fucking up or preying on them, they'll eventually grow up and call you out.
Always had a young fan base, and I think a lot of them saw, and a lot of them have said, they saw what happened to Adam during this time, and they didn't want to be the next people to be called out by her or diminished by her. So it made them fearful to speak up and share their own personal experiences with her or share their own stories, because they still idolized her, and they didn't want to get canceled and dragged all over the internet like Adam had been. She basically made an example of Adam and was like, this is what will happen to you if you cross me, because people love me so much that they're going to forgive me for anything. Like, that was the vibe that she was.
I remember.
For all this, that I'm going to make jokes about how I was canceled. And I think this is a really common thing.
That's what people don't talk about enough, that, ooh, I went through years of her making fun of the fact that I tried to cancel her. Don't you forget.
We see when fans of YouTubers tend to call them out for things, and it gets a lot of traction. We saw it a lot with James Charles and David Dobrik, where victims of them would not come forward for months or even years later, because they were either so still under the spell of that creator that they didn't even know they were being groomed, didn't even know something bad was even happening to them, because their idol was just talking to them and they were so excited by that. And we also know that people have a harder time coming forward when somebody gets slammed the way that Adam does, because they don't want that public backlash. And I also think because she fostered that fear within her fan base, she fostered that sort of don't cross me attitude.
I mean, that's a great point, because again, remember years later in 2023, remember the Weenies group chat still existed in 2023, and the members of the Weenies group chat leaked me all of these years of texts of Colleen being like, I can't believe you would, like her going fucking off on me about the video and them trying to, remember she, in her fucking big age, babies galore, her fucking 17 children and all like this, remember I leaked those texts from Weenies when she was in her mother era, where she's like, gimme the dirt. Like, what do you have? You know what I mean? Like, we have all those text messages of her, like, trying to dig shit up on me. Like, this is no innocent woman. This is a fucking, like, crazy, mentally ill, terrifyingly disturbed, obsessive, narcissistic, egotistical, deranged, disgusting, evil, like, truly, I cannot describe enough. Evil woman. And I will always hold a grudge. And the way that she protects her fucking predator brother and her entire family are so fucking weird. And the things she's done to other people that haven't even came out. You know what? I see her little updates here and there on YouTube, right? And it's all, I'm miserable. My mental health's so bad, whatever like this. Bitch, I hope you sit with the fact that you're a terrible person. And you know what, Colleen? Look at me, because I know you're watching. You always do, don't you? Colleen, one day your kids are going to grow up and they're going to see everything online. And you can't hide from that. One day, little babies will grow up and they will see everything you have done. And they will know who truly mommy is. And you can't hide from that. And that's why you're so miserable. That's why you struggle so much. You have wronged so many people. And you have fucked up so many people. And you have never acknowledged it. And I know that the reason that you are truly so miserable to your core is because you know that your kids one day will know the truth about you. You can only protect them for so long. And they'll know what mommy did for many years. They'll know what mommy did when mommy was pregnant with them. They'll know what mommy did when mommy was supposed to be hanging out with them. Oh my God, the little kids are tottering about, where's mommy, fucking bullying kids online, scheming to take down other people's kids. One day they'll fucking know, Colleen, and that's why I know you sit with that. But also I know that you sit with it as well because you truly only care about your career and not your kids. And now, unfortunately, all you have left is your kids. And I know that that makes you miserable because the career was always first. But one day the kids will grow up and you'll not be able to hide from the fact that they can freely figure out what mommy has done. And also, they'll be really pissed that you exploited them through the entire thing as well, and they'll resent you, and probably past the age of 18, they'll, you know, fully cut themselves off from you. But I guess things catch up to you. Colleen.
Like, don't cross me, see what happens to Adam. I think because of that, and because of a lot of her fan base were still a lot younger, Adam's video stood alone, which I think also made it easier for people to chalk it up to like one-time off behavior, as opposed to a pattern of behavior, which is what it ended up being. And I think that's the case with a lot of canceled YouTubers, and why we see this cycle continuing so often. Because when you love someone so much and you have such a parasocial relationship with them, and you've literally grown up with them, you don't want to believe that they would do something that bad. I had a hard time believing this stuff with Colleen when it first started coming out. Not believing it, I did believe it. I had a hard time wrapping my head around it, because the image that she had created online and the parasocial relationship that she had formed with her fans didn't match up with this behavior at all, which is why I think so many people blew off this Adam thing when it first happened. However, now we're on to the more recent situation, which had the internet in a chokehold early last year. Again, I'm going to be kind of doing an abridged version of this because I more want to talk about the cycle, but what happened was Adam came forward and made another video, which I can...
Cody Tyler. Shut up, Cody. Cody Tyler got dropped by Corey or Colleen or something, and came out with proof that showed that Mother Mucker didn't lie, and that Mother Mucker didn't fucking twist the narrative. And if anything, it was Colleen scheming against a then 16-year-old Mother Mucker. And I made a response to that because Cody asked me to. Me and Cody even did a collab after that, which really shivers me timbers. Me coming out again as a Meghan Trainor fan was because I was supporting Cody. Crazy. But the knock-on effect. So, just to clarify, I was happy to sit this one out, but I wanted to support someone who I thought was speaking up against something that wronged them. Clearly, Cody had, you know, their own issues.
For greatly. I think that's incredibly brave. Adam alleged that she said sexually inappropriate things to fans in group chats, that she messaged group chats talking shit about other people in the fandom and fellow YouTubers.
Again, to clarify, Cody Tyler leaked all of the messages of Colleen being sexually inappropriate. That was not me. I then had to be like, hey, that was me. Because it was one of Cody's arguments, right? About the inappropriate chats. Just to also clarify, y'all can call me out for whatever you want. This is not on me. It was me that was actually spoken about last summer. I was actually enjoying my summer last year, being uninvolved. But I was brought into it by Cody, who fucking ran away from the scene of the crime. Just to clarify.
She tried to elicit pictures from underage fans. It was shown that behind the scenes she lied and manipulated a number of drama channel YouTubers to try and push a narrative about Adam that wasn't true. And then the old clips from her Miranda days started coming to light.
Which is so ironic because I wasn't a drama or commentary channel back then, but I am now. That one worked out great for you, didn't it, Colleen?
Sickening.
These are children.
This video will get demonetized. How fucking sickening these Miranda videos were. Also, Adam did not stand alone this time. Dozens of former fans came forward talking about both the inappropriate DMs that they've shared with her and also the inappropriate in-person meetings that she's had with them. One girl talks about how she went to a live show for Miranda Sings and she was wearing a very short dress and Miranda brought her up.
Shut up, Becky.
Spread her legs wide open to an audience full of people. And she talks about how fucking traumatizing that was, because it absolutely is. Also, a ton of inappropriate comments that she made about JoJo Siwa came out, which that whole relationship is so fucking weird to me. I can't believe that we were just like, yeah, a teenager is friend with a 30-year-old and we all think that's normal and like totally fine and chill. There's also
one day
other comments about children that she's doing videos with in a sexual way as she's playing her Miranda character. And just genuinely creating content that was marketed to kids but was never meant for kids to consume. Now, I think there were a few differences in the 2020 situation to this one. The first being that just so many people were coming forward with stories about this. It made it really hard for her to be like, oh, it was just a one-time thing. It was just a one-time mistake. No, girl, this was a pattern of behavior that you had. A serious pattern of behavior with serious problems for years. Like, this was dating back to like 2015, 2016 when she was getting a divorce from her husband. She has been oversharing with fans and putting out personal information about them and sexualizing them for like almost a decade. Now, this led to a massive amount of media attention and also just a massive amount of like YouTube attention, and also led us to getting Toxic Gossip Train. And I do want to talk about Toxic Gossip Train just for a minute. I mean, obviously that was fucking ridiculous, right? Like, we can all talk about that, how absolutely absurd it was to make a ukulele song apology video. But I just want to say, what genius fucking marketing for a person who wants to get out of being canceled, because holy shit, we were all too busy making memes to notice how fucking ridiculous and stupid and crazy responding to accusations of...
But don't worry, one day those kids will grow up and know that mommy's a joke. That's all that matters. All that matters. You know why I have no problem talking about her kids? She had no problem talking about so many other people's kids. She had no problem attacking other people's kids. Smear campaigns other people's kids. Me just being like, her kids are one day going to grow up and know who real mommy is? Please. It's the least I could do. It's the least I could do. It's my wee gift. Happy 18th birthday, guys. Type in mommy's name on Google. You're going to have to scroll page 3 if you want to see the Netflix show. Or any of the Kid Choice Awards.
Is to sing a song on a ukulele. Like, we all kind of, like, were so dumbfounded by it that it almost got her to skate by unscathed from it. She didn't even own up to anything or apologize for anything or talk about anything that she actually did. She just attributed her behavior to being weird, and she's just a loser, and that's why she talks to underage kids, is because she's a loser. Do you know how fucking weird that is? I'm not a groomer, I'm just a loser. Do you know how fucking crazy you have to be to not only do all the things she did predating this video, but to get online and fucking say that? Like, people hated her, and they were mad at her, and they were pissed at her, and she was definitely canceled, but she kind of got off from this video because we were all just so dumbfounded by what the fuck she was doing. Now, she did the standard YouTuber who got canceled thing, and she disappeared for a couple of months after this. And when she came back, she very briefly was like, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, on to my family vlog. Like, that's what she does now, is she just family vlogs. And the thing is, she can barely hit 50,000 views a video now. Like, her channel did definitely die. But when she first started posting vlogs again, her views did not significantly decline the first few videos. She was actually coasting and doing pretty well at first. And I think a lot of that was people wanting to just see, like, what the fuck she was doing. They were just really interested. But I think the other part of it is, I think a lot of people were not mad at her about this whole situation. I think a lot of people pushed it aside and chalked it up to her just being silly or goofy. I think that was still the narrative happening for some people. And I think the thing is, I think a lot of times we get very frustrated on the internet with people who are canceled for very legitimate reasons. I would consider this a legitimate reason for somebody to be deplatformed because she abused her platform in a way that hurt children. 100% think she shouldn't have a fucking platform. Besides that, though, the major problem with canceling people is that we see this big response and we see everyone up in arms and we see all this media attention surrounding it. But the problem is that people who never watched Colleen in the first place were weighing in on this topic, were hating on her. Because people who were never fans to begin with found out about it and were like, this is fucked up, and then jumped in on it. I think sometimes it's hard to get a real response to what the core fan base actually feels because the
Fair point, fair point.
even there in the first place are so much louder. And I think that does contribute to why a lot of times
Fair point.
uncancelable is because even though everyone that has like a loud voice is screaming from the rooftops about how fucked up this is, myself included, everyone is screaming about how bad this is, there's still those fans that are going to stick by and watch no matter what and just be with their favorite creator no matter what. Like, you're still going to have that no matter what. I just said no matter what 3 times in a row.
Fair point.
She made toxic gossip train for the fans that were already manipulated by her, that were already manipulated and had fallen in love with her and had these...
Yeah, it was towards them, not any of us.
Who comes to her concerts, and that's who buys her merch. And at the end of the day...
And again, Oliver never got addressed.
Stuff on this scale do. They apologize not really to the people that are upset at them and are canceling them. They apologize to the people that they can maybe keep around. That's why her apology video didn't own up to anything or address anything or even like admit that she did anything. Because if she had done that, then her real viewers would have seen the truth and known the truth. But she made that video to make herself seem like a victim to the people that were going to stick by her no matter what and apologize to them. And that is who that video was for. It was not to her victims. It was not to anyone else. Like, that was literally what her video was for. These apologies are not for the people who are upset. They are a way to recoup as many people as they still can so they can continue making a living on YouTube. When you get accused of something this bad, it's not about taking accountability. It's literally just, if you're a bad person, which I think she is, I think she's a bad person. It's not about taking accountability. It's about damage control. It's about trying to keep as many people as you possibly can.
Please, can we get some fucking justice for Oliver? This is going to be uploaded on YouTube. I mean, fill the fucking screen with justice for Oliver. I mean, go fucking crazy. That's such a great point. You know, who directly does she need to forgive her? Or anyone who gets cancelled? The audience. And how do you do that? Distract or pander. God, wow, the storm is crazy. God, I love y'all. Look how you ate that.
We see this over and over and over again with these apology videos, with these YouTubers getting canceled, with the Shane Dawsons and James Charleses of the world. We continue to see this pattern. They're making their content now for people who don't care about any of that and are going to watch them anyway, and that's why they continue to have success. This is why...
I mean, keep it fucking going, guys.
happen over and over and over again, and why YouTubers don't leave the platform, because they can still make a substantial living doing what they're doing. I think Colleen is an interesting example because I think that unlike Shane and James, she's not been able to find a platform elsewhere, and I also think that her views are bad now. Like, she's barely getting 50,000 views a video on her vlog. Just the fact that she still feels emboldened and like she can be posting just shows that we're just going to be seeing this cycle forever. As long as there's money to be made, YouTubers aren't going to leave the app. As they don't ever face any real accountability, I think that's why we keep seeing more and more things like this happen. I think the next people that it's going to happen to are like Jake and Logan Paul, in my opinion, because they were running the children's YouTube scene in 2016, and I guarantee if you look into their old content, there's some fuck shit there that they were pulling their childlike audience. I can almost guarantee it. They're going to keep marketing to children. They're going to keep monetizing to children because it makes them a lot of money. They're going to continue to make disgusting content because the kids don't know any better and they're sick individuals, and this shit is going to keep happening over and over and over again, and it's absolutely infuriating. Sorry there's not like a positive, happy little bow for the end of this video. It's just infuriating. Like, this whole situation was absolutely absurd. The fact that YouTube is even still letting her post monetized content is fucking obscene. I have no idea why a year and a half later she is still on this fucking app. Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like what she's done. And I don't like any of the fucking YouTubers that get away with this shit. It pisses me off. There are good people that deserve to have good channels and like do well, and they get silenced by people like Colleen and Shane Dawson. Absurd. YouTube puts their money into monetizing Shane Dawson videos instead of like small creators trying to make it. So that's great. That's it for me. That's gonna be my video. I hope you guys like.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Now, again, what I have to say in terms of this is whether people want to believe it or not, I really do take a back seat when it comes to covering anything to do with her, but that'll never mean that I'll stop, you know, covering things, because again, I think it's important, and again, I take myself out of this, and I really do, I mean, get that Oliver back up again. I think it's really important to kind of make note of that. But also, back in the moment, Hannah, Smokey Glow, was really one of the only people that really saw through the original apology video. And this was before I was even making any videos or anything like that. And I just really fucking respect the fact that, like, she saw through it. And that's why I felt very full circle reacting to this video. So, huge shout out to Smokey Glow. Also, everyone, go and support her, Mary Glowmas and Smokey Glow. No, I'm just kidding. Smokey Glow, shout out to you. And again, thank you for 2020 and thank you for now. And yeah, we'll leave it there.